For more, let's bring in Fox News contributor Liz Peek. Liz, good to see you. So negotiations with Iran. I've never quite understood that concept. I don't know how you do it because they never tell the truth. So is this negotiation thing sort of like we're gonna do it to say we did it before we do the thing we really plan on doing? Or do you think something's going to come out of it?
I think everyone's wondering whether this isn't just sort of puddling along until there's a strike on Iran, because certainly the president has given every indication that he wants a confrontation with Iran. What in the world would we negotiate? They've cheated on every agreement ever signed between the United States and Iran. The whole ridiculous thing that Obama engaged in about a nuclear accord when the IAEA, or whatever it is, IAEA,
right.
Always said all along that Iran was not complying with the terms of that deal. They weren't allowing inspectors in, et cetera. They are not going to agree to any kind of nuclear accord. I don't believe that. I think, though, by the way, this is not the only incident today. Also, a Navy fighter jet shot down a drone that was apparently attacking, or at least coming very uncomfortably close to a U.S. warship, an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, the Lincoln, I think.
How I read this is Iran is scared to death. They know that Trump is unpredictable and that he has hit Iran before. Twice now, they have backed off from any kind of serious retaliation from our strike on the nuclear facilities and also from the assassination of Soleimani. All kinds of bluster about severe consequences. That's what they promised. They didn't deliver them. I think they're very scared of Trump. They didn't do any kind of retaliation then, and I think they're just going to kind of hope that by this little aggressive actions, maybe Trump is nervous enough not to do something more drastic. So we'll see. But I mean, it's playing with fire.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't really strike me as the nervous type.
No, but I think they're just sort of trying to maintain bluster. The bigger problem now is they've got a country that is up in arms, and the people of Iran know that billions have been spent on proxies and on warfare and so forth, and what do they have to show for it? Maybe the regime feels they need to show something, that they can, stand up to Donald Trump. It's not going to work.
Yeah, a lot of the analysis is that Iran is weak, the weakest that they've been since the late 1970s. Maybe now's the time to take
So now they're
advantage of
flexing
that.
their muscles, supposedly.
I want to ask you about Harvard University, because the administration and Harvard, they're locked in a court battle over their funding, their tax-exempt status, and of course it all stems from the anti-Semitism investigation. Trump just now upped his demand from Harvard. It was like $500 million to settle. Now he wants $1 billion. Your thoughts on where that's going and whether Harvard's going to pony up the money?
Look, I think that Trump wants these schools, and perhaps Harvard is sort of the linchpin to this effort, to be held accountable. Harvard's own internal assessment was scathing. I mean, there is no question that the anti-Semitism on this campus really did deny students their civil rights. Kids were scared to death to go to class. They were scared to death to affirm their own religious inclinations, et cetera. It's preposterous. So what are they doing? All these schools are pretending to ditch DEI, but they're not really ditching DEI. What does Harvard want? They want money. They want the federal funding that has been frozen under President Trump. I think he's actually quite right to insist on some recompense for all the kids that were disadvantaged during this period of time. Whether it's $1 billion, I mean, Trump always starts high and it'll be negotiated down, but they should be held accountable in some way, and I think that's what we should see.
Well, we will see where it lands. Liz Peek, always good to see you.
Thanks
for being here today. You bet.